And
we're not live in the ClickFunnels
we're
group.
not live.
I think I figured it out. I think I figured out the reason why.
Why is that?
Why aren't we live in the ClickFunnels group? I cannot stream it to my personal profile.
You can't share what?
It won't work. If I stream the stream to my personal profile and try to do the RMTP, it won't work.
Really?
Yep.
Well, can we share something live into ClickFunnels as it's playing live on our page?
Yes. Let me just get no, because it's only going to make it friends. Let me just go to my event. Now I've turfed my ClickFunnels that I had. Let me go into the Super Ambassadors event. Let me add live video.
Okay, well, I just went into...
We're good now.
Okay, I think I just turned it on. Unless you did.
It's still only going to show it to friends. But we should... It says starting, so... It says we're live. We're live now.
Well, we'll figure it out. Actually, no, that is what you're seeing in the ClickFunnels group is me sharing from my profile page directly into the ClickFunnels while it's live. Yeah.
We're in twice.
We'll see after we're done. So everybody, just in case you're wondering what our bantering here is about and confusion, it's very simple. Is we have been struggling for like 6 weeks trying to figure out how to share this live into the ClickFunnels official group. And we've tried a bunch of different stuff. And about half the time it works, half the time it doesn't. And so we may be streaming live in there twice right now. So we'll see when we're done. But enough of that fun. I do see something on my screen here, just in case anybody was not aware. They are bringing back Funnel Hacking Live for an encore tour.
One night only.
No, actually, it's three nights. September 21 through 23 of this year. September 24.
21st to the 24th, right?
No, I'm looking at 23rd on my screen here.
Okay.
And this came from Greg. So 21 through 23, Funnel Hacking Live Encore, AI version or whatever. And I suspect that we may see a whole bunch of encore tours of Funnel Hacking Live coming to a stage in Vegas near you.
Only if this one sells out. If this one sells out fast, I think it takes away. We talk about like taking away false beliefs, like objections of people. Well, if this one sells out really fast, Russell's big objection is it takes so much time to fill the room of 5,000 people for Funnel Hacking Live. So what other objections is he going to have?
Yeah. So it's go to funnelhackinglive.com, put your name down on the wait list, and they're basically doling it out from the people who give Russell the most money on a regular basis, Atlas members, down to the inner circle, to CCX, prime movers, award winners, etc. On the way, as I choke here, so Madison say something.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is, from what I've been told, they're VIP tickets currently. I think they open it up to prime movers and all FBCC members today. Those are just for the VIP tickets. So that's the, like the couch that Dan's going to get that Tony and I get to hang out on. It's the $6,000 box seats. So the couch package is 5 people. It's between $25,000 and $20,000. The box seats are 2 for $6,000. And then come Monday, from what my sources tell me, there will be tickets for general admission, which start at just shy of $1,300, down to the traditional $997 if you want to sit all the way in the back. But they say there's not a bad seat in the house, so there's positive.
Well, yeah, it's more of a concert venue instead of just a big.
It's a theater
or like anything. So yeah, it's a concert venue. So it's stacked layers. So there's like 3 decks.
Cirque de Funnels.
Cirque du Soleil. I don't think
Cirque du Soleil, Cirque de Funnels.
But Duran is playing there this week, and so if Duran can play there, I guess so can Russell.
Yeah. So that's gonna, I think, for Inner Circle, it's at 8 a.m. If you're an award winner, it's at 11 a.m. on Monday, and then if for general admission and everybody, it's 2 p.m. But don't be mad at me. I got that information from Greg Dankins. So
go to funnelhackinglive.com and get on the early bird list. You'll get emails to tell you exactly what to do. So with that being said,
through Ticketmaster. The general admission tickets will be through Ticketmaster.
Yes, they are through Ticketmaster. So, what we are planning on talking about today, as I'm going to need to rearrange some stuff on my screen, is people have been begging us to talk about FunnelWind and other Barnum features and stuff like that. And we just haven't gotten around to it yet, mostly because we haven't really had a chance ourselves to work with it too much.
No,
But
mostly because we didn't want other people to know about it because it's really awesome and
well,
really
yeah,
cool.
we're trying
I
to
don't want to
keep
keep a
it
secret for myself.
our secret, so we don't want anybody else to know about our secrets.
It's like James Coran made a post, and I'm like, don't tell people, James.
About FunnelWind?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But what we're going to do is go in here first. Now, you can run this FunnelWind threat thing through any AI that you want, but you probably want to run it through Claude. A couple reasons why. Claude does the best job as far as writing copy, as far as I know, and from what I'm hearing from a lot of other people. Yeah. So you're going to want to have copy on this page as well. And then also, if you use the MCP server through ClickFunnels, which I'll show you how to set that up here in a second real quickly, and they got all kinds of documentation on how to set it up. But you also then can generate images. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, Claude doesn't generate images, well, through the MCP server, they have attached, most likely to Stable Diffusion is probably what they're connected to on the back end to be able to create the images. And Stable Diffusion is what everything like Midjourney and whatnot, I think Midjourney runs on it. I don't know. I've been kind of out of the AI image generator thing for a while, but a lot of yeah, I think, well,
like Sora.
Sora image generator died last week, and now OpenAI came out and said they're going to kill the video generation version 2 very shortly, and just focus on other things, including apparently their government contracts with the military. So you can make up whatever conspiracy theories you want there if you want. So why don't we do this? Let me just share my screen. And let's go here, share the screen, and let me see here. Yeah, I really can't do the whole screen because then I'm going to be sharing. All right, we're going to have to kind of do this one window at a time. So for starters, let me cancel this and figure out which screen I want to share first. Because, yeah, okay, let's do this. I always forget. I always think that I can share my whole screen, but then we get multiple pictures of you and I. Okay,
let's give this. That's what people come for. So
you should see my ClickFunnels account here. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so here are, well, as long as we got the images open here, here are a bunch of images that I just had Claude generate for me. And there actually should be some more in here, I think, because I just had it run back through it again and generate what I was asking for is much darker images, much, spookier images, 1940s, 50s horror movie kind of images, because I have a Halloween theme on the page that I built. And now you're going to see here, and I didn't necessarily do this on purpose, but something I have figured out on my computer, and I know other people are seeing this and having problems with their images being blocked, is I found that it's actually caused by having certain extensions turned on. And I'm not blaming this on BarnumPT's extension, but I found that if I turned all of my extensions off, that problem clears up. So now I'll turn all of my extensions off. Let's reload this page right here. And a lot of what we're going to be showing you here today are mistakes and ways to fix things, because working with the MCP server inside of Claude, I found there can be all kinds of issues you can deal with. And eventually these images should probably come back here. It just didn't want to as quickly as it should have. But if I were to go incognito, all these images would be showing here, and we'll get around to that in a minute. So in order to set up the MCP server inside of Claude, first thing you have to have is a Claude Pro account. Yeah. Then you come into your apps, you add your app, and you're going to be looking for the MCP server app. And then once you install that, you're going to come in here and you're just going to simply follow the instructions right here. and you're going to want to call the connector name, and we'll show you what that means in a minute here. ClickFunnels, you're going to want to grab a hold of this right here, and we're going to paste that into Claude. Okay.
The caveat here is you can only connect one workspace at a time currently. Right. So choose your, and what I have found is a little like word of guidance. Run your FunnelWind code, your Barnum code, run it in a test workspace and share that funnel over, because I was doing a funnel and somehow all the words changed on it overnight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all of this is a little tricky because, I mean, you got to think about it. We are combining together. I don't know. You're showing my screen?
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted it up yet, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We are combining together so many different things here at this point because we have Claude, we have the MCP server. Inside the MCP server, they're using, like I said, it's probably Stable Diffusion in order to generate these images. And then we're using BarnumPT on top of that to install the code into the page. So there's all kinds of places along the way here that can get a little bit goofy. So in order then to get the MCP server turned on, we're going to go here. Now, caveat on this is if you're running this straight through ChatGPT, you don't need to turn on the MCP server in there. It will probably do everything. You what?
Through Claude, you can't. You only run the MCP through Claude, correct?
Right. What I'm saying is if you're running it through ChatGPT, you don't need an MCP server. You could just do steps basically 2, 3, and 4 here, not the turning on the MCP server. So in here, in order to do this, there we go. In order to do this, we will come into your Claude account. You come to settings. You come here to connectors. And down here, it will say add a custom connector. In this case here, I added my ClickFunnels connector right there. I could disconnect it or remove it if I wanted to. I don't want to. I will configure it. You can always uninstall it here. And then you probably want to come in and make sure this says allow always. So it gives you all the different functionality because you can use the MCP server to create blog posts, to create courses, to do all kinds of stuff. So you can see the whole list here. You can basically do everything inside of your database, very similar to if you were running it the API, except you're doing it from inside of Claude. And now they even have a thing in here where you can connect your Claude to your Chrome, and then you can start doing all kinds of stuff in your browser. And I haven't looked at that. I probably never will turn that on. And then, so once you get that all connected, then the next thing you have to do, yes, I know, especially if I have to keep changing out screens here. The next thing we have to do then is go to find FunnelWind itself, okay? And there's bit of code you have to grab a hold of. It's just a singular file that you have to grab. And let me see that page there.
And it is only going to work inside of the ClickFunnels editor.
Okay, share my page. Share my screen. So if you cannot find what I'm looking for, what you want to do is just Google FunnelWind prompt, Barnum, Winter Jones, ClickFunnels, whatever. You will come to this GitHub page right here. There's no other way you could possibly find this, you will end up on this page. And if you click this link right here, you will get to the actual page where you want to go, which is this page right here, which is the instructions for how to use FunnelWind. He also goes into a lot of detail in here on how the page structure works and how this whole thing is built out. Because what it does is it gives you a file, and you're going to download this prompt right here. It's going to give you this file that tells BarnumPT how to build out the structure of the page. And what it's going to do is it's going to create HTML that looks like this. Now, you're looking at that. If you know HTML, you're saying, well, these are non-standard tags in here. Well, yeah, they are, because Winter built his own, I think you call this a page tree, that will, or something to do with a page tree. I remember talking to him one time about this. And, but it builds out the HTML on the page. And it gives you all the instructions here about what not to do and to do. You don't have to know any of this because it's all built right into this file that you're going to download. Right there, you're going to download that file. Now, the next thing that I do is I create a project inside of, and I'm changing pages again here. I built a project inside of Claude
Hopper.
Yeah, the old Claude Hopper. Is that what we're calling them? Okay, I want you to share that. And so here we got our project in here, and I built myself a BarnumPT FunnelWind project. So that file I just downloaded, I then take it and I drop it in to here. So now I got this file right here. And if we oops, what happens here? So if I click on it, now we're going to see what is inside of here. I'm glad that opened because otherwise I was going to have to go into CS code and show it to you in there. So this is what's in this file. And if you can read through here, it's basically saying very clearly, this is what I want you AI to spit out for me. And here is the format of what it wants to spit out. And then, of course, in the body area and in the style area, it's going to build in what it needs in order to build out the page. It gives you all the constraints here. It tells it what not to do. All this stuff is very, very explicit. And you're saying to yourself, oh my God, this is overkill or whatever. Here's the truth. This is how everybody should be training their bots. I know people are like, oh, well, I built this, built this bot for myself the other day. And well, you gave it like 3 sentences and one file. This is the kind of stuff, if you want really good outputs, this is the kind of stuff you got to build out. Now, obviously this is over the top because of what it has to do in every single use case. But the more information you put in to your AI, the better it's going to come out. I mean, all through here are examples of exactly what each little bit should look like on the page. And so he goes meticulously through here exactly how to build out the entire page. And I will see what I can do to close this. Okay. So now at that point, all you have to do is put in your prompt. Now, Madison, did you have something you want to show first, or do you want me to show a basic example first?
You do basic, and then I will take it to the next level.
Okay. So let's say here, I have one here. I've done a couple of examples, and I have a couple of different ways of doing this. So this one here was very simple. I just gave it a simple prompt, and I said, where is it here? Give me a basic. Oh, wait, before we go this far. Okay, let's do one other thing. Actually, take my page down for a second. Okay, because I know in here it shows my email address, so don't put it up yet. But yeah. What am I saying here? Claude was not working right for me. The MCP server was not working right for me. So I disconnected everything and then I reconnected it. And the first thing I said is, are you currently connected to the ClickFunnels MCP server? This is just a regular chat I'm doing. And which workspace are you connected to? It gave me that information properly. Then I said, because I'm in a demo account here, I knew I only had a couple email addresses. I said, give me all the email addresses for the contacts in this workspace. Did that just fine. Okay, now share my screen again. I scrolled up far enough that I covered up all the email addresses. So then I said, using the MCP server, what tasks can you perform? And it gave me a whole listing of everything it can do here. And in here, of course, it will say that it can generate images. And it does generate images. But I had to kick it in the butt to get it to do it. Because like any AI, it forgets what it can do. It could tell you that it can generate images, then it won't generate it. It'll swear that it can't generate them. And then you say, well, but you're connected to ClickFunnels MCP and you should be able to do that, right? That goes, oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I screwed up. So then it generated the images for me.
I don't have that problem. I talk nicer to it, so.
Oh, I'm just like, jam it down its throat. Give it to me. And I'll say, please. So then here, can you generate images for courses, blogs, and web pages? So it says, yes, it can. And then it says, we cannot do that directly via the MCP. Well, yeah, I can. And it did. So again, know that it can. Know that when Todd built the MCP thing, whatever the heck this thing looks like, it can do it. Then I said, go find me all, because we had created a couple of blog posts yesterday, and it just, very generic, give me a blog post about how to make a cake. It supposedly could not find it. Then I think it did find it. Then it generated some images. Those images didn't work. So I was going back and forth, and we almost got to the point where I wasn't going to do this demonstration today because I couldn't get it to work. And then that's when I realized it's like, it was just being dumb. And it forgot that it could generate images until I kicked it in the butt and then told it, okay, yes, you can generate images. So all that, so we've gone through a couple of caveats here about the images and the mistakes that can be done. So when you're in there, talk to it, have it tell you which workspace is connected to, have it prove that it's connected to that workspace. These are all ideas I got from Tim Hewitt because he was struggling with this as well. And then have it go through and demonstrate that they can do something. Just ask it to generate an image for you, have it generate the image, and then go, okay, I know you're turned on, you're awake, you're working properly, let's get to it. So here we got a very simple fishing guide. All I said is give me a basic opt-in page for a fishing guide, and it just goes, now I'll create a distinctive fishing opt-in page with a rugged outdoor editorial aesthetic, warm earth tones. I mean, it's giving me all this stuff I did not ask for. So it just naturally, being Claude, did all this. And then you come down here and you click on this, and it will give you the page that it put out. And I will show you this page live in a second. And then you got colors are too brown. I told a bunch of other stuff. And then here, this was yesterday, I'm like going, give me some images. Well, they couldn't figure that out. So after all of this, that's when I took everything down, reloaded it all back up again. And then, like I said, after still hammering on it, I finally got it to work. So this is what it did here. Oh, and then down here it's telling me, well, I can give you a prompt and you can put them into Midjourney or something else and generate it. Well, then I did get it to actually generate everything. So now what we do here is you come up here at the top and you click on the code. And so let's just take a look at this code. So this is the code that it wrote. I showed you the instructions on how to write the code. It takes those instructions and it does everything here. So here we got like CF paragraph, CF call, CF paragraph again, CF section, CF rows, CF call, CF icon, CF headline, CF subheadline, CF button. That's all what I'm calling non-standard HTML, because these are not standard HTML tags. But because Winter trained it to do this, now when we copy this HTML code, we put it into Barnum, it will give us the page, because again, we're taking, so Winter instructed it how to write the code. It writes the code. Then because Winter taught it how to write the code, when we drop it in there, Winter's code in BarnumPT can read the code and then do what it needs to do. So all you do is you click up here on copy, and then I have to go and share my other screen again. And we will go right here. Yeah, okay. I have to find that page now. And let me see, are you... Which page?
We're on your images, your assets.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Shared the wrong page, because that's I think that was the incognito window. I was in there. Sorry about having to do this way, but this is a limitation, unfortunately, of... No, that is, because that's my Claude account. Oh, wait. Yeah, here we go. This is a limitation of using, what is this called? StreamYard. Okay, so we downloaded this. We generated our prompt. Now we can come in here and let's go to the fishing one. Okay, now that's the one for Miguel. Do I not have that one open anymore? Well, we'll just do it here. Okay, so now I copied that. I copied that code, and then we're going to come in here. We're going to create a new page. And we're just going to go to a new blank page, and I'm just going to call this test real quick here. We're going to create the page, and we're going to go to test. And now this is where we need Barnum turned on. So in this case here, because I just turned Barnum off, we'll go back to my extensions. We'll manage the extensions. We will turn Barnum back on that page. We'll come back over here, open up Barnum. Then you come down here to import HTML. We're going to paste in that HTML, and we're going to say send to ClickFunnels. Now you're going to see we're not going to go through the generation process inside of Claude, because that takes forever for it to generate. And by forever, I mean 10, 15, 20 minutes. This builds the page very, very quickly. So there we go. Now remember, my entire prompt was give me an opt-in for a phishing guide or whatever the heck it was. This is what it gave me. Nothing else. It made all of this up on its own. Now you're going to come in here and you're going to start seeing a couple things. One is, and because I've already done this before, I looked at this yesterday and I was just like, okay, well, these three, they're not lined up properly. Okay, well, that's fine. If you want them lined up, you just come over here and click on full. All right, that's simple enough to fix. But what Winter also did in here is it gave it the ability to generate a whole bunch of CSS code and a whole bunch of animations. I'm not a huge fan of the way that works in here because some of it you have to fix. So here we have this border you see along the left-hand side. So instead of coming into the element itself and saying, okay, we want to put a border on here and we want it to be left side only and we want it to be whatever that color is, and let's say it's a little wider, instead of doing it like that and putting it onto the actual element, this was done using CSS. And so
I've had some of them actually be put on the element.
Yeah, well, in this case here, it wasn't. So we come in here, and so for this row up here, he has this being called feature row. And then if you look into the code itself, feature row right here has that border left of three pixels. So what can we do if we want them both to match up? We just say we're going to copy this here, and we're going to close this out. We're going to go to the row below it, click on the code. We're going to dump in the feature row right there. Now we have it all set up, and then we can come in and make them all the same height. So I'm letting you know this because it does put in all that code. So let's go look at that code again. Now in this case here, it's not a lot. I've built some of these with it where it's just a whole page of code, and it's putting in specialty fonts, it's putting in all kinds of animations and stuff. One of them here, I haven't even seen the result of it yet. One of the things it's starting to do now is put in a whole bunch of icons and before and after pseudo elements all over the place. And so the last rendition I did, I said, don't use any icons, any pseudo elements, do not generate any SVGs, nothing, because it's easier to actually put stuff like that in than it is to go in and try to take it out or make it uniform between different elements. So we'll see how well it worked for me to be able to go in and say, don't do those things, keep those things out of there. So as long as we are in here, because you were going to build one from just an image, right?
Correct.
Okay, we'll see how that works. That'll be interesting in and of itself. Let's see, I don't need that page. Okay, so here is actually the, what am I doing? Come on. Here's actually the original marlin fishing one that I made, which was the same as the one we just did over there. So I went ahead to do that. But then I went in and I said, okay, give me some actual images and stuff. And that's where we started running into problems because it was pulling in like images from like Pixabay or Plexels or Pretzels or something. I don't even know where it's pulling it in from. I said, no. I want you to do it. And that's where we figured out there was a problem. So then let me see. This is the one here. So let me go back to my, let me go back into Claude. because that's where I will show you what I was working on today. And then I will show you one that I did. Okay, you can share my screen. Let's go back into my projects. Go this one here. And so we got our free ice cream giveaway. So I started off with something very simple. Give me an opt-in page for a free ice cream giveaway. Okay, here's a playful, vibrant, blah, blah, blah. And it breaks it down. And we got our hero section. We got our trust strip, flavor showcase, how it works, testimonials, all this. And I'll show you this page. Well, I can show it to you right here. Again, it's going to be pretty darn basic. But again, this is where I started noticing some of the stuff that Winter was putting in here now. Like up here at the top, you can see a whole bunch of different emojis up here in the top that were actually inserted into the page using a before pseudo element. I was like, why is this on my page? So we'll see how well it works to strip that out by giving it the instruction to not put it in the first place. Okay, so then I said here, let's change this into a Halloween-themed extravaganza held at a Disney-like theme park at midnight, where it's all you can eat ice cream until your guts are busting. And I got really explicit in here. We'll call it Madison's Midnight Mischief. We want to call out all trick-or-treaters who are done with eating stale candy corn and want the most decadent ice cream sundaes ever imagined by the undead ghouls who are about to embark on this feast. And you can just go on. And so, as I said earlier, the more you put in here, the more it has to work with. So I went through explicitly, and I'll leave the screen open. You guys can pause it here, read what I put in there. But I said one thing, use the tone of John Carlton and his style of writing. Then I say we're going to use Eugene Schwartz's awareness levels, and that these people they're aware of Halloween, they're aware of what ice cream is, but they are not aware of Madison's Midnight Mischief. And so we have to write a lead using Michael Masterson's lead formats for this level of awareness in order to be able to put out our text. And again, I go more details here. I say use standard Google fonts, especially the Creepster font. What else did I put in here? Background should be vibrant colors and all this kind of stuff. Now, again, it still didn't remember that it could do images. So it still gave me a bunch of garbage. But what it also did is it said, because I invoked Eugene Schwartz, Michael Masterson, and John Carlton, and asked it to tell me which awareness level and which lead type it was going to use, it put that in here and it told me why, because I asked it to tell me why. So again, you can use those things as prompts, but also use this as a learning tool. And say, so do a little research, go to your favorite AI, ask your favorite AI about Eugene Schwartz and Michael Masterson, and it will give you the answers, except do not do that inside of ClickFunnels, because I tested it, and ClickFunnels has no idea who Michael Masterson and Eugene Schwartz is. So don't do it in there, do it in Claude. So you can do that, and then it goes back into the awareness levels, the lead type, again, some more stuff about Carlton, breaks down the entirety of how it structured the page, and then it gives me this, to which then I said, why aren't you giving me any images? This is where we finally taught it that it can do images. Then it finally spit out all my images, but then I found the format that it's using. Or I think what it's doing is it explains it in here somewhere that what it's doing is it gets a link from, again, like I said, I'm thinking it's Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion gives it a link. It then takes that link and puts the images into ClickFunnels. Well, I think it's using the Stable Diffusion link in the funnel itself, because it's not giving us a standard ClickFunnels link to the images. So when you find that, just go in and find your actual image, and I'll show you that here, and put the actual image into the page. Okay. And then, so then here we had to discuss, then I asked it, what does it think? And it gave me a couple options. But then I said here, Okay, do this all over again, but this time I want it in the tone of Dan Kennedy. I want you to use his format of diagnose and prescribe. So diagnose their problem, their pain, their hunger, and then spit it out to me in the form of a diagnosis, but also right here I said, do not include any animations before or after pseudo elements, SVGs, or emojis on the page. Redo all the images, returning them in a 16:9 format, because I found it was like doing it in like a 2:3 format. And I don't want them to be cartoonish anymore, which is kind of what I asked for to begin with, which was fine. I want it more 1950s haunted mansion, scary kind of stuff. And I haven't even looked at this part here yet, so apparently it did it. Awareness level, Kennedy voice design, and so we go right here, and we'll see what is spit out. That is Kennedy, an urgent communique for trick-or-treaters who have had enough. Madison's Midnight Mischief. So here we got the right font. That's the Creepster font. And so all we have to do now is we're going to come over here, and again, we can look at the code, and it'll show you the different sections of the code, pop-up, footer, final CTA, everything in here. And again, I asked for more of a sales letter type of a format. And so we will copy this, and then we will have to close out the screen again. And I say that just for my Canadian friends. You have to say again for them. They don't understand what you're saying. So this must be the right page here. And okay. Now, I guess I need to create a new funnel page. And
if Rob, if you're listening, we'd love to have a button there that could create a new page.
Oh yeah, on the other, yes,
on the editor page. Yeah, yes,
yeah, that would be
Rob,
nice.
Andrew, Todd, anybody, please put a button there.
Okay, come in here. You're talking like right over here.
Nice right here. That would be
little
super
plus
nice.
sign. Little plus sign right there. Just boom, new page.
Just put it down at the next one down. Yep.
Yep, that'd be so sweet. Which I never did check to see if you have multi.
It just stacks down.
It just okay.
Yeah, which I think the right branch getting priority over the left in terms of hierarchical order.
Hierarchical. Yeah, I can't pronounce anything today. That's partly so now interesting. Change the font.
Yeah.
That is one of the things I've noticed is it does a really weird job of doing the fonts. Now, again, we'll scroll down here slowly. People can pause, but let's just take a look at this here. See, it says that it's Creepster, but what I found is if you click on where it said Creepster, and then you come out and you just type Creepster up here at the top so it can find it, and you do that, then it changes it. Even though it already said Creepster here, it doesn't do it. And even if you save the page and reload the page, I don't think that works, but everybody can test that on their own. But so again, I won't go through reading this here because I'm sure the copy is probably pretty good, but I'm going to show you one here real quickly after this, where it gave me some copy that I thought was just over the top good on the same kind of subject. You're suffering from acute Halloween deprivation syndrome. And again, sounds like a Kennedy thing, unique mechanism right there. And so here's your QR, the RX they even put in there. Now we're going to see here images. Okay. Why? Okay, let's come over here. Let's take a look at this. You see here on the image URL, it says CF2-private. Here, let me just, well, I can't pull, well, I could pull it out here. Let me pull this out and we'll just add in an element here and put the text in here so you can all see it. That's what this is putting in there. This is not a standard. I mean, this is Amazon AWS. So I'm not really sure where it's pulling that image from. So then what we have to do instead is we'll have to open this up and we'll see if these images show up in here for me properly. See, now this is the problem. When I have extensions turned on, and like any extensions turned on, I get my images to come in looking like this. If I were to open this incognito where all the extensions are turned off, the images show up just fine. It's the darndest thing. And I thought it was one that I had that was corrupted, and it wasn't. So either way, you'd have to come in here, figure out which of these images was which that was supposed to be in that space. And so in this case here, we'll just say it was this one here. There we go. Pop it into the space. So yeah, is this in any way perfect? No. Does it get you 3/4 of the way there? Yeah. Does it help a lot with the writing of the copy? Without a doubt, especially if you're going for a longer form sales letter like this here. And in one of the places along the way, I asked for, call out boxes like this, and I asked for bullet points and stuff. So yeah, okay, we've got some bullet points down here for basically the offer stack. And again, I'm not reading any of this. Hopefully I've scrolled down slow enough that you can pause this and take a look at it yourself and see it there. Man, this thing just keeps on going. We got some testimonials.
You Kennedy, so
well, yeah,
you did long form.
So like I said, everybody can read this here. And we even got some PSs down here. Now, again, another thing I've definitely found with this is, in this case here, you're going to get banged for contrast on this. So if we were to go to a live page on this, let's go do that real quick. You want to go in and check the contrast on that color. Let's just go down to the ones we were looking at. And so we're going to inspect this element right here. And we're going to go up to the P tag, and we're going to go click on our color, and then we're going to look at our contrast ratio. We're going to grab a hold of the color of the background, and we're going to see, well, let me see here. Let me see. Okay, in this case here, we have to be above the line. I just realized that because yesterday I was doing it. I always had to pull the little circle down below the 2 lines to get a good thing here. Here today, I'm pulling it above the 2 lines in order to get the 2 check marks. I always thought it was, but that would make sense because it's always going to have to be lightest to darkest. And so if you got a dark background, it has to be a lighter color and vice versa. So that would make sense in there. So make sure that when you're seeing color contrast that is off, this right here especially is horrible. The print size is way too small. The color contrast is off. So you got to make sure you go in and check every single thing on the page. All this down here is not legible either. So make sure you do that. Make sure you run your page speeds. You do all of the other stuff you would do normally on a page like this. And yes, Madison, we are going to run past the top of the hour, but we were yammering too much at the beginning. But I want to just show you one more real quickly, and I won't show you the entirety of it, but this is one I did actually probably about a month ago. Same theme, but in this case here, Miguel from the FBCC was going down to Disney, and that's what the whole idea started with. And in this case here, it worked much better because it actually gave me the image, put the image in the right place. Now, since then, I have moved this from one workspace to another workspace, and I didn't bring all the images with me because there had been 4 images right here. But those 4 images are floating up and down because of a bunch of CSS on the page. But again, we will scroll down here slowly, and you can read this. And this one here, I think, is actually better copy than the one in the John Carlton style. This really tells, I mean, if you read this thing here, it just tells a great story. It really does. I was so incredibly impressed by the copy on this page. And like I said, I will slowly scroll down here so everybody can see what the copy is, even though, again, you get copy like this down here at the bottom that's not even legible. But the Dan Kennedy one, as Madison pointed out, is about 1 million times longer than this. And it would make sense because he really liked his long copy. And I think that is about all I've got. I'm sure I could keep going on for another hour, but I will relinquish the helm here, and let's see what Madison has for us.
All righty. So I go about mine a slightly different way than Dan does, obviously. I know.
Oh,
shocker,
oh
right?
my God.
Oh my God. So we're gonna start with I use what? I don't even know if I want to.
I said chicks.
Oh, I just heard the back part of that, and I was like, "Oh God, we're canceled now."
Okay.
So This is actually what I do because I do a lot of stuff in Cursor anyway, so I'm more comfortable with it. So as you can see, this is running currently. It's going.
Hang on. What the hell is Cursor, and what is this thing doing on your screen here? What is
So
it doing?
Cursor is just like Visual Studio Code. Now it's a IDE, which is a development environment.
Okay.
But it is basically this is running Sonnet 4.6, which is Claude, is Anthropic. But what I had it do is zoom up here. So this is basically, if we open up this file, it's writing the code now, the FunnelWind code.
Okay, but that does not look like the FunnelWind. Okay, there it is.
Yeah,
the other
it's
stuff
there now. Yeah.
Gives on it. Okay.
So what I basically did is I gave it, and I don't know why it's not letting me scroll up, but like, for example, over here, I gave it kind of the same prompt you did. I said, turn this into FunnelWind code using the MD file and the website that Winter has set up.
Yeah. Now, see, I did not put that part in there. All I did is I put in the file from FunnelWind, and then I just gave it a prompt.
Yeah, I give the website as well.
Okay.
But that's me. And okay, so you're like, but what did you give it? Okay, you see this up here, page 1 sales page HTML. So my little secret hack, and I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to share this. I have been using a ton of Manus, like literally a ton of like 100,000 credits of Manus. I know I have an issue, right? So as you can see here, I gave it a for this one, I said, I want you to create me a funnel for opt-in for a inside mock-up for a newsletter about sports cards. So it did, and it came up with this one right here. I'm like, well, that's cool. How am I going to get the images off of it? Well, last week we talked about in Canva the magic edit. So I came in here, I ran the same thing. I took off the words. So I created my background image and then these 3 little icons. And I haven't upscaled them yet. So they look pretty grimy at where they're at. So then I said the thing that, and I tried in like full disclosure, I tried to say, come in here, Cursor, make this look exactly like the photo that I want. And it tanked it. Usually it's really good, but it tanked it. It went completely screwy. Did not make it look anything like this photo right here. Okay. So I said, well, what was the difference? What have I done different? Because I've used this several times over and over again, and it's given me really great, amazing results. And I went, oh, I've been having Manus create the HTML for me. So I just guess what I came down here, and I said, after a couple times, I said, I need you to create me the HTML for this, which it did. It made it a little bit different than what I had originally, but I like this better, and it was going to be the tweaks that I was going to make to it anyway. So you see background images coming in now. I have my images. I have that automation or animation and some other things that it added to the page. So similar thing that it did, so I wasn't sure that was going to get done in time, is I had it build this sales page for a sticker business. Same concept. Come through here. Like I did with this prompt. Actually, this prompt up here, where I said, turn this into FunnelWind, giving it that. It gave me the FunnelWind code. That's what the HTML looks like. And then when I put it into to actually click funnels, using this, import HTML, paste it in, have it do its thing. Now it has created the FunnelWind code for the page. Now, things that I have noticed, I will come down here and you see like the stack is missing. Like the words are missing from it. And what we had it over here was like this. I've noticed a lot of like more would be like complex rows. Those don't do so great. So like it only grabbed part of it. Okay. But still at this point, I can come through here and just be like, and it uses a flex container, of course. It's like, we know you, Madison. We know you like flex containers.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but as you can see, like it got the base of it pretty much. It's not like the photo, but what I can do for that one, figure out what that one's at again. This was the image it was supposed to grab. I can come through here because I asked it for the background images and things like that. And I probably can spice it up with just the background images and have it make a difference on the page.
Okay, so we need to unpack this here.
And that might have to be next week.
Well, screw that. Okay, so you created this image using Manus.
Yes.
Okay. Now the other cursor that you were using.
Yep. All cursor's doing is basically what you were doing in Claude to say, turn this into FunnelWind.
Okay. But my question is with cursor, because you said you could set this as Sonnet, can you also set that as Manus?
No. So Manus is basically an agent is what Manus is. Manus, from what I've researched, because I tried to figure it out, I'm like, why is it cool? Like, why does it give me really good results? And what it does, kind of like you can do with Claude Code and create different teams of agents. It has about 4 different agents. It sends out, it has a overall agent, it has a research agent it sends out, it has other things X, Y, and Z. And what it does is it runs on Anthropic as an LLM, a large language model.
Okay, so Manus and Claude are both Anthropic.
Yeah, hence why you can't come in here and say, oh, I want to use Manus 4.2 because there isn't one. And for those that don't know, Manus was recently bought by Meta. So this is kind of the next, what I feel like is going to be like the next path forwards. And you can have the real reason, and I've only been using Manus for a month, in full disclosure, because I started to dive into Claude skills. And I went to this website and it said, oh, you can use this in OpenClaw or you can use it in Manus. And I was like, well, shoot, I'll try this whole Manus thing.
Yeah,
Russell also talked about it. Yeah, no, I didn't do an OpenClaw. Yeah. Russell talks about it in the couple of the VIP sessions of the 1 Comma Club Challenge.
Right.
And so that was, but I tried it and I couldn't understand it. It didn't make sense to me and all this stuff. Well, I didn't really fully understand how to leverage it and how to use it. So that's what got me started. And I actually have a little secret little recipe that I use inside Manus to help me create these pages that you'll have to pay Madison for to use.
Oh, was that a cliffhanger for next week?
That was no. That is like Madison has her secrets that help run Manus and create results like this.
Okay. Well, but now that it was bought out by Meta, they're going to completely ruin it anyway. So what is the alternative to using Manus, because it will soon be unusable? So the bigger question I have is, why would Anthropic get rid of it unless they had already replaced it with their workers inside of Claude?
So no. This Manus has nothing to do with Anthropic. Manus was not made by Anthropic or anything like that.
Said it was.
No. It leverages the Anthropic API
for
its large language model.
Okay.
Because really, there is only a few of those large language models out there. There's only a handful of them, right? Like, there's so much stuff that runs on OpenAI's API, that runs on all the OpenAI models. And, like, I don't have, like, that's what I have found. I don't have, like, concrete evidence. Like, I don't have a backdoor to Manus and be like, what do you got back there, you know? That's what I found. And I was trying to figure out, like, why is it better than ChatGPT? Why would I do this different than, and you can't. You could do this same process inside of Claude Code using different agents and teams and things like that.
Well, so now that you re-explained that there, then yeah, so Meta bought it because I think it was in the last couple of weeks or months, they said that I'm pretty sure they said they've given up trying to create their own LLM. And so it makes sense if you take over Manus, you already have it pre-built, it's already running on Anthropic. Why rock the boat? Just do it, because I keep getting in my feed all the time. Every time I like put up a post or something, it wants me to do something with Manus, and I just kind of been ignoring it. So in this case here, you used Manus, you created this image.
Yep.
Then you took a copy of that image and you put it into Cursor. Is that what you did?
I did try to put it into Cursor and it failed. full disclosure, it failed. It didn't create anything like what I wanted it that actually looked like this image. So I said to Manus that I want you to create actual HTML for this image. And you can see I gave it this prompt, which I had to give it to like say, nope, it did something different up here. I was like, no, I want it to be just like the image. But it was also on Manus Lite. So I had to upgrade, I had to change it up to Manus 1.6. I don't have to go to Max, but it's a whole different story. That's how I have so many credits that I've used.
So just for everybody here, so you took an image, you had an image, doesn't matter where it was generated. You have this image, you're going to show it to the AI, you're going to say, okay, AI, turn this into HTML the best that you possibly can. And then did you take that HTML and bring it over into Cursor and drop it in and say, okay, now I want you to take everything you already created for me, plus this HTML, combine it together into the FunnelWind code, which you then dropped into ClickFunnels.
Yep, you can see it right here. That's exactly the Rip Insider Funnel 3 HTML.
Okay.
If I close a few things, we can see I don't know if I can get there we go. Rip Insider. Oh, because this is that's the Manus page loaded. Let me pull in Rip Insider 3 HTML. Okay, this is the one. It's straight from my desktop. FunnelWind code Rip Insider 3 HTML.
Okay. So if nothing else, it gave you a bunch of building blocks that it put in there that you can then rearrange around without having to go out and grab each one. And so that's already been put in there. And I find it interesting, that little image or whatever this is in the middle with the line moving up and down.
The animation to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the header across the top, is that like a GIF, or is that an actual?
Oh, it's slider? I think it must be it's like an animation of a ticket track. It has to be just a script that it's running.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I see you, Bun. Yeah, it's got all the words there. So.
Yeah.
Well, I would guess if you looked at there's got to be an animation running that.
Yeah.
Which that's fine. Yeah.
So this is a pretty in-depth HTML file. But this is just like, I would put this not on ClickFunnels, because if I put it into FunnelWind, I guess I'll give people the example of it. So, and this is where I think a lot of people have been stuck on FunnelWind a little bit, because they're like, oh, it takes HTML, right? But no, if I go over here and we'll create a new page.
Right. And the thing that you have to understand is if you go to Barnum and you say input HTML and you try to put in standard HTML, it'll reject it.
That's what's going to show people right now. Yep.
Okay. It'll only accept it if it is the special format that Winter created for the FunnelWind.
Yep. So you can see.
I think he's playing off of the term Tailwind, because there's Tailwind CSS, which is a way to build web pages. Okay. And so I think that's where he got the FunnelWind from.
Well, he probably couldn't use FunnelPickle because somebody already owned it and had it for a whole bunch.
No, actually, in case anybody wants to buy the domain funnelpickle.com, it's available, or will be soon, because I let it expire. I didn't have any use for it because I don't play pickleball and build funnels at the same time or something. I don't know.
So you can see here, must add valid FunnelWind code. Your HTML must include an element to be imported into ClickFunnels. So this was my first thing. I was like, this thing's broken. I messaged Dan. I'm like, you got this thing to work? And he's like, oh yeah. And then I was like, learn how it works. And that took me, and I was like, oh.
I wonder if that button, that's so funny. We are so, it's the old thing. We're banner blind. We're also button blind. Here's a button right there that says, hey, click here to learn how this thing works. And so here I'm showing everybody before, okay, if you can't find it, go in there and Google it, go to the GitHub page, scroll 3/4 of the way down the page.
Oh, you didn't know there was that button there?
No, I'm button blind.
Okay, yeah. Learn how it works. That's what that button works.
That's how you can get there, people.
So now we have, this is the FunnelWind code that it came up with. And so it put in pixel images. So We're gonna see.
Yeah, I'll
This
have
is
to
gonna
go
be
back through my
a live
FunnelWind
demo.
code. I'll have to go back through my FunnelWind code and see what they put in there for links.
Yep.
Um,
So we'll just, and nothing like a live demo. Like I've said, I've had incredible success with this. You can just see the difference here when I pasted it in. This one now says CF body instead of just body and HTML. I may have like chosen the two hardest tests of FunnelWind to put in, but we'll find out.
well, that's why I started off with, just give me a simple opt-in page. Oh,
Yep.
okay, got it. Okay, now let's add on to that. Let's go from there.
So I mean, it doesn't have obviously have like the animation yet, and the image is wrong. But you know what I can do here on this image, because I went to, Canva. Remember, I went to Canva and I pulled out the background images for this. I can now go to grab all those.
And before we leave, let's show that again, because that is so cool that you can have AI generate an incredibly complex image like that and now be able to just pull it apart into layers. And it does such a nice job.
Yeah.
It is just amazing.
So basically, I just added in the photo and I clicked on it.
Just create a new one. Can you real quick?
A new one. Yeah. I can create a new one. No, I cannot create it. Where does that I've had that to? Where?
Just
I don't have it on this computer.
Yeah.
I don't have it on this computer. But I'll just drag in the. Hold on. Don't panic, people. Do not panic, people. Okay. Which honestly didn't know you could do that either.
I'm sorry. What'd you do?
I drug it over into the little plus sign.
Oh, you didn't know you could just drag an image in there?
Not to and make a new page?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, not necessarily make a new page. I usually
just made a new page.
Okay. I make a new page and I just drag the images.
Yeah, no, this made a new page. So I go edit, magic layers.
So in the past, what you'd have to do is you'd have to do like the magic grab or the magic text, or you'd have to do magic erase in order to do this. And so often, especially if it was like some sort of text with some, fuzziness around the edges, shadow or something like that, it would just absolutely just screw it up. It'd leave a bunch of residue behind it. Or if you did the magic text, what it would do is it would change the font. It would take it to the font closest that it could do. Now it keeps it exactly the same, and it gives you the ability to go in there and type on it.
So kind of interesting thing here, back to the code, back to the page, is it would have done stuff that I would have done anyway. Like I was going to move this opt-in to this other side. So it did that already on its own.
You're saying FunnelWind built that for you?
Yeah, because see, it was like this, and it moved this opt-in over here. But I do like this cool little. It put that down here.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that cool little animation, but
did that come in with everything else?
No, not on that. Not on the HTML. Not on FunnelWind. It came from HTML. Yep.
Okay.
But still, like funnel principles, I want this to be on this other side, not down below the text.
Well, yeah, you want it above the fold and all that. What happened with Canva where you were pulling off the layers?
So as you can see here, here's all my, and the cool thing is like it actually pulled off these cards too. The newspaper, these old cards over here.
So each individual card, it pulled off of there.
Yep.
I hope everybody who's watching this is just peeing themselves like the first time I saw this, because I was like, you're kidding me.
Yep.
And look at how clean it is behind it. Like I said, in the past, when you try to do a lot of this stuff, and right there, she pulled off two things of text. One is because one is the text, and then one is the actual shadow behind the text.
Yep.
Which then becomes an interesting question is, if you change the words on one bit of the text, can you go in and change the words on the shadow part of the text as well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. You can do anything like that. because it can actually
I can
create
do anything.
You can do anything. Slices and dices, tons of julienne fries. So yeah, it's because it's going to create the different layers for you. All the different layers.
It's just crazy.
And now I have pieces I can go back in here into ClickFunnels and actually put in where I want them at.
Now, here's the interesting thing when you really start looking at all this. So let's say in the past, you would have had to hire somebody to create the graphics for you. Okay. Now you're doing the graphics yourself. So you didn't have to hire anybody to do it, but are you actually saving any time? Because you're spending all the time learning how to use Canva and doing all this. And then you might have had somebody else write copy for you in the past. Well, now you write your own copy using AI, but then you go, my copy's not that good. Why is my copy not that good? And so then you have to learn how to become a copywriter in order to train the AI and teach the AI how to be a good copywriter. And I was saying on a post the other day, actually bouncing off of something James Kern had said, it's just like, you have to still learn how to build funnels. You still have to learn how ClickFunnels works. You have to still learn what the good copy looks like, because how do you know if what you're putting out is any good if you don't know what good looks like?
Yeah.
So you still have to learn it. These are shortcuts, but you still have to understand the process and whether or not it is good.
And I think that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are going to think, well, why do the funnel builder program? What's the point? Like, people are just going to be able to build their own funnels. Like, and to some degree, yes, right. But like, what I like to say is, there's that story about the car's not running, and the guy calls out the mechanic, and he hits it with a hammer, and then he gives him a bill for $500. And the guy's like, you hit it with a hammer. That took you 5 minutes. And the guy says, yes, but you paid me to know where to hit it with the hammer at. That's the way. Like,
everybody's got a version of that story. My favorite version is the one with Pablo Picasso. So it's 1973, and people don't realize Pablo Picasso actually was contemporary with some people my age, at least. So it's like 1973. He's in a French bistro, and this young art student comes walking up, and she recognizes him and says, "Oh my God, you're Pablo Picasso." And he goes, "Yeah, I am." And she like hands him a piece of paper. "Oh, could you draw something for me really quick? Oh, this, it's such a great honor to have you in my presence." And so he whips out a little doodle and rips it off and hands it to her and goes, "That'll be $10,000. And she goes, "What do you mean? It took you 30 seconds to draw that." And he said, "Yeah, but it took me 30 years to learn how."
Yep. And, people will always pay for speed. This thing I saw from Alex Hormozy. Like, if you can do this faster, they'll pay for speed. They'll pay for implementation, right? Like, there's a ton of videos about using ClickFunnels, but yet people hire funnel builders every single day, all day long, just because they don't want to do the implementation part of it. And so if you're a funnel builder currently, you're trying to figure out how to pitch your services using something like this, just say, I'm trained in it. I'm the one that knows what looks right, what doesn't look right. I know which buttons to push, because you could go to Claude and you could put in a crappy prompt and you could get a crappy funnel page. You could get one that is the buttons are in the wrong places, or a lot of times they'll actually put in code like hash checkout page. Well, ClickFunnels doesn't work like that, right? You name your checkout page something different. So you still got to go through and do all of that.
Yeah.
So
the other day there was a woman on the FBC call that had Claude write her some HTML. She's like, "How do I put this on the page?" And Miguel and I are both like, "You can't. That's not how this works." And because so you could build a checkout page and you could have AI build an opt-in page, let's say, for you. Well, the elements on that opt-in page are not the same as what you have on your ClickFunnels page, because AI doesn't know ClickFunnels format. And so you'd have to have all of the HTML exactly the same. And even then, you really couldn't do it. But bring your screen back up, because as we've been rambling on here, I want people to realize what you just did. This is the page you built with FunnelWind, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So go back down where those images were. In the time we were yapping away here, and I'm telling my Pablo Picasso story, she went in there, she dropped in 3 blank image elements, took out the 3 icons that FunnelWind had put in there. And
I had already asked Manus to pull out the icon images.
Okay. So in this case here, you had Manus pull out these images.
Yep.
So Manus created the image, and then you had Manus pull out these 3 images.
Yep.
But she also could have done this in
yeah, I could have added the ones from Canva too.
Canva. Right. So she could have had Canva do that.
I already added them. I could have.
Yeah.
Right there.
And
I just didn't export them as transparent PNGs for some reason. But yeah.
So you go into AI, you had to create this incredibly complex image. You rip the layers apart on this image. Now you're using parts of that images from within the image, and dropping them in here. And it's just, for me, having been around as long as I have, building funnels and stuff, some of the stuff I look at it's just magic. That what we can do today and how quickly it can be done. But again, you got to check it. You got to make sure it's right. You got to make sure it reads properly. You got to make sure the color contrast is there. Like for me, from where my vantage point right now, the text on that page is way too small.
Yeah. Oh, I have noticed that. That is a thing that I have really noticed when it does come to some of the FunnelWind stuff.
Yeah. So, and look at all the code that the FunnelWind put in there. So again, if you don't know what that code means, you're going to have a hard time dealing with this page. You're going to have a hard time editing this page if you can't read what that code says either.
So that's actually a really good example. So what I was doing over here, and this is going to turn some weird color, I would normally go like column and add a background color, right? I go light blue and it doesn't change.
Right.
Right. It should change. But the thing is, and that's why like you gave me that you talked about this earlier and gave me a little hint about this, to go to the code, see what the CSS selector is, and then you see feet A here. And that's how it works to make this hover. Let's be honest. That's what's given us this hover effect.
Yeah, but what else you got in there? Because the third item in that list there, a feature C col inner, and just col inner means the inner part of the column. Yep. Then we have here background color, and okay, so here the next part here is hover. So feature C col inner hover. Then you got the background. You got then we got transform translate Y of -4 pixels. So that means have that thing elevate -4 pixels. But like Madison just showed, you go in there and you're changing a background color and it's not working. Well, it's because this is overriding it.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is definitely, and I was going to show that on one of mine. So I'm glad we circled back around to this here, because I can't believe I just said circle back. Oh my God, just shoot me in the head. That is an issue with all this extra code in there. So if you're using FunnelWind, make sure you look at what the code is and you know what that code is doing and saying, because if not, you're going to be left scratching your head.
Yeah. And I just realized that the reason it's that color is because my little picker here is not actually kicking it out in RGB. It's giving me this as HSL.
HSL. Which I used to know what that stood for. What the?
That's why it's red and not black. And to Winter's defense, Winter, the only reason I use this is because I like BarnumPT color picker, but it disappears too fast.
Yeah,
it goes away, and then I have to log in.
Yeah, that is a problem, Winter. It doesn't save. It doesn't save it. Doesn't save it to the clipboard. If it just saved it to the clipboard, that'd be fine. But it doesn't. I think it used to originally, but it hasn't for like at least a year. Save it to the clipboard. So I never use that. I just use the developer tool for everything. There's really nothing I don't use, CSS Peeper or anything like that. I just use the dev tools, because the dev tools is telling you what the real story is every time. All right. Well, I think all
I was trying to do was to try to match this background color to make it blend in a little bit better, but it's not bad. It's not terrible.
Well, yeah, just you should be able to just grab a hold of that gray color.
Yeah, it's actually kind of vignetted on the side, so it's splat. Yeah, but still.
Yeah, do the one on the left-hand side. It looks like it's the most consistent.
I don't like how these got switched up on me, and it's moving things
Yeah, I
around.
told myself a bookmarklet, and then they went and see there.
It's closer over here. I could get like really technical. But yeah, I'll probably just pull out.
Yeah, do each one a slightly different color, and then because I like the way the one on the left hand side just kind of like it feels like it's just coming out of it now. Yeah. So there's no distinguishable edge on it, so that's pretty cool. But again, these are all things you can do, and in this case here, actually you wouldn't have had to do it in the CSS. This is something you could do right inside of ClickFunnels, is changing that background if it wasn't for the fact that the CSS was already put in there.
Right. Yeah. Correct.
So again, those are all things you have to be careful of when using anything like this. You got to be really careful about what it's doing and putting in there behind the scenes that you're not seeing. Just like using any of the templates inside of ClickFunnels. Some of those templates have code built into them, and you don't know the code is there. Others are using multiple layers of
same with mobile view. You know, that's a big thing is on mobile view and here's the other thing. Mobile view, there is not padding on the left and right for some reason.
So you're saying on all FunnelWind, you're finding that the mobile view is
on mobile view, the section padding. Yep.
All right. So Winter, if you're seeing this here, I mean, that's something simple he could change in the FunnelWind instructions that makes sure that it's on mobile.
I've tried to do it, and I've only tried it like a couple times to like prompt it like that, but I've not been successful. But
well, that's another thing. Yeah, you're right. You can just say, as you're building it, make sure you put 20 pixels on either side on mobile. Yeah. So that'd be on the columns. Were you putting that into the columns, or I think
I gave it the wrong term. Is what I think I did with it. I put it in the wrong spot. Like I said, section didn't really give it much clarity on what that would be. So, but
I would think column would probably be a better place to put it. But either way, all right, we're 20 minutes past time, but I think hopefully this will help people, because I know there's been a lot of people asking questions about FunnelWind, and so hopefully that will help. And the biggest thing is I hope we pointed out a lot of places where issues can occur. Yeah. And because again, we're melding together so many different things simultaneously, and
a lot of duct tape and baling twine.
Yeah. But as you saw, the result of what Madison put together there at the end can start to be some pretty cool looking pages.
And I think it comes to there's no excuse anymore, right? We talked about Funnel Hacking Live, the Encore. If it sells out this weekend, which actually probably because they're not doing general admission till Monday. If it sells out Monday night, Russell's number one frustration has always been it takes him so long to sell out 5,000 people in an event space. You know it, right? Like he's done a lot of speaker interviews and speaker bonuses, and it's a lot of lives and stuff like that. So if it sells out Monday afternoon, which I imagine, I don't even know if tickets are going to go to general admission, honestly, to be released to the whole list, but I'm gonna rope this back. But that takes away that excuse, right? That objection that he has to continuing to do funnel hacking lives. This FunnelWind, Cursor, Manus, whatever you choose to use, ask it to create you the page, ask it to create you an image, ask it to create you HTML. That takes away an excuse for a lot of people that are like, I just can't launch my funnel. I don't know what to do. I don't know what it should look like. I don't know what it should convert like. I don't know how to write the copy. Well, AI now takes away that giant excuse. So this is no better of a time to launch an online business. And if you need help, reach out to a certified funnel builder near you.
Might be two on this call. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know if there's any on this call or not here.
No.
You got one of these things, don't you?
Yes. Okay. I do have one of those things.
I don't see.
Not actually ordered it.
You haven't ordered it yet.
I haven't ordered it yet. I've just been so busy building funnels for people and like getting leads and growing their business. I just haven't had time to order it yet. But I do have the little badges.
Having babies and stuff like that too.
Just Funnel Baby. I was going to build Funnel Baby's application page today, but it's okay. We went a different direction. So
never mind. I don't even want to know about what Funnel Baby's applying for. So.
For her marketing agency.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, we got to go, and we'll probably be here next week if we haven't been canceled.
Yeah.
So, all right. See you then.